Hi guys, this is Pastor William Boateng on your screen. Thank you so much for taking your time. I've been a pastor for the past 1 year now, and there are so many experiences I've learned, and I want to share it with you for those who desire to be used by God. First lesson learned is for you to be an effective minister, you shouldn't open the Bible on a special occasion, but you must be a student of the Word, which means you have to read your Bible daily to become an effective minister of the gospel. Second lesson that I learned is you should live what you preach, because your life speaks louder than words, which means you must be a leader by example. Third lesson that I learned is, as a young minister, if you marry the wrong partner, it can bring great harm to the ministry. Because there are many great men of God that were not able to fulfill their destiny or their purpose in life is because they were in the wrong marriage. Fourth lesson that I learned is learn to celebrate other ministries. You are not in competition with anyone. You should rather not compete, but rather complete. We shall all strive to make it happen. The fifth lesson I learned is that you are not in ministry to lord over people, but you are in ministry to serve the people. Ministry is all about serving. The sixth lesson I learned in ministry is, as a young minister, you need a father who will guide you, who will correct you, who will direct you, teach you, and cover you in the spirit. Nowadays, we have young ministers who think they can do it on their own. But listen, if you don't have a covering, you will expose yourself to danger. Now listen, Elijah had a covering, which was Elijah. Joshua had a covering, which was Moses. So anyone that is in ministry needs a covering. The seventh lesson I learned in ministry is that who you follow determines what follows you. By the grace of God, I'm so privileged to serve a prophet of God by the name of Pastor Boateng. He has a global traveling ministry and has a unique prophetic gift. And by the grace of God, it has also rubbed on me that I travel to the nations of the world, and by the grace of God, we can prophesy. The eighth lesson I learned is never rush into ministry, because when you rush, eventually you will crush. Before I had a traveling ministry, I was in the church for 4 years. I never had a microphone. I only preached once. So I never rushed for the mic. The ninth lesson I learned is never let the compliments of the people get to your head, and never let the critics of the people get to your heart. My 10th lesson I learned is that if you are making great impact, expect a lot of jealousy and envy from your people and from peers in ministry. But watch this, you are not in ministry to outshine anyone. 11th lesson I learned, as a young minister, if you want to go far in life and in ministry, be humble and be teachable. Young minister, awards and platforms are not always a direct sign or attribute of God's approval or blessing. Strive for excellence, but make sure Jesus is the main focus. As a young minister, I realized that ministry is more spiritual than physical. Ministry is not for show, but ministry is a battlefield. As a young minister, you need to know the difference between sons and members. As a young minister, never compromise to sing. Never. As a young minister, I've come to understand that the more a man is committed to God, the more God commits himself to the man. As a young minister, you'll be looked down upon by some fathers in the city, but never feel intimidated because of your age. God knows why He called you young. As a young minister, you will make mistakes on the way in the journey, but you must learn from your mistakes and learn from your past mistakes and learn from the mistakes of fathers so that you won't repeat those mistakes. As a young minister, you need to know which information to disclose and what not to disclose. Watch this. Ministry is not easy. You either do it God's way or you don't do it at all. Because ministry is a dangerous zone.